And today's topic would be the surrender. Yeah, from the book Be As You Are, from the teachings of Sri Ramana Maharishi. I think you all know about it. And let's begin with this one. Maybe it's a little bit longer, I think, but I try to read a little faster so that we can have question and answers. How you will be surrendering for yourself or to the surrender to the Almighty. Let's see. Many of the world's religious tradition advocate surrender to God as a means of transcending the individual self. Sri Ramana Maharshi accepted the validity of such an approach and often said that this method was an effective as a self-inquiry. Traditionally, the path of surrender is associated with dualistic devotional practice, but such activities were only for the secondary importance to Sri Ramana Maharshi. Instead, he stressed that true surrender transcended. Worshipping God is a subject object relationship, since it could only be successful accomplished when the one who imagined that he was separate from the God had ceased to exist. To achieve this goal, he recommended two distinct practices: holding on the I thought until the one who imagines that he is separate from the God disappears, completely surrendering all responsibilities for one's life to God or the self. For such self surrender to be effective, one must have no will or desire of one own, and one must be completely free of the idea that there is an individual person who is capable of acting independently of the God. These are the two methods he's trying to explain us, friends, about how we can be one with the God. The first method is clearly self-inquiry. Under a different name, Sri Ramana Maharshi often equated the practice of surrender and inquiry either by saying that there were different names for the same person or the process, or that they were the only two effective means by which self-realization could be achieved. This is quite consistent with this view that any practice which involved awareness of the I thought was a valid and direct route to the self, whereas all the practices which did not were not. This insistence on the subjective awareness of I as the only means of reaching the self colored his attitude towards practice of devotion, that is bhakti, and worship, which are usually associated with surrender to the God. He never discouraged his devotees from following such practice, but he pointed out that any relationship with a God, the devotee's worship servant, was an illusory one, since God alone exists. True devotion is said to remain at one really is the state of being in which all ideas about relationship with God has ceased to exist. So beautifully explained, friend. The second one we can see, and we can conclude this. The second method of surrendering responsibilities of one's life to God is also related to self-inquiry, since it aims to eliminate the I thought by separating it from the object and actions that is constantly identifies within. In following this practice, there should be a constant awareness that there is no individual I who acts or desires, that oneself exists and then there is nothing apart from the self. So this is the second thing he calls, friends, and the last conclusion he says, Sri Ramana himself admitted that spontaneous and complete surrender of I by this method was an impossible goal for many people, and so he sometimes advised him followers to undertake preliminary exercises which would cultivate their devotion and control their minds. Most of these practices involve thinking of meditating on God or gurus, either by constantly repeating his name or by visualizing his form. He then told devotees that if this was done regularly with love and devotion, then the mind would become effortlessly absorbed in the object of meditation. This is the article, friends, from the book Be As You Are. And these are the teaching from Sri Ramana Maharishi. And thank you so much. Yeah, friends, if you would like to say something, or I would like to listen. You can unmute yourself and talk about how we surrender ourselves to this practice of meditation or to the practice of I. Yeah, please, anyone would like to say anything?
Can I
Yeah,
come
go
in?
ahead. Please unmute yourself.
I would like to understand what is this I technique? What is this I?
Actually, we always separate from God and I, like two entities. But the God is nothing but it's within us. We derived from the God, actually. And we are the God. Actually, we are the children of the God. But nothing but we are the God when we enlighten ourselves, when we know ourselves. So we should not separate, like mom and daughter. They both are from the same, like the derivation. So you belong to that mom, actually. So it's the same way we belong to that God. So we have to interpret that I is nothing but the God.
Then why do we have all these jealousy or anger or competition? Why do we get those feelings? If that I is
Yeah, but
God.
when we understand ourselves through our meditation and through our journey inside, we will never compare ourselves. We will never guilt about the others because everybody is a different speck of this world. Everybody, like for example, a flower, it blossoms its own way, like a rose or a chrysanthemum or the jasmine. But when you see in their garden, they have their own way of blossoming. But one flower do not compete with the other flower in any time. Only the human nature has that tendency. But in the nature does not exist that way. So when we being an enlightened person, we would never do that. We would never be angry. We would never be competitive.
Yeah, but before we reach that stage, that journey, how
Yeah,
to follow that journey?
that is nothing but we have to practice meditation. That's the only tool. Because I was in such a big pain. I mean, I don't know how I would have come up because you all know that I lost my mom. That's a really very big pain. The day when I understood that she has not gone, she's with me, she's in me. That day, I'm very, very happy and I'm able to host the session today. She's just passed recently. But the whole journey, I was attending so many sessions and so many masters. Like morning I'm attending session, 2 times I'm giving the session, and evening also I'm attending sessions, like to understand this whole journey of me and my mom, or me and the God. Yeah, that gives a lot of
Very nice for sharing the
understanding.
experience. Yes, the even then, because it's like in my case, for example, that yes, you understand. Well, could it be delusion that I feel I've understood it? Because at times, then, if I become honest with myself, I do feel at times that sort of comparison or hurt feeling or things like that. So, yeah.
Yes. I mean, yeah, Master, if anyone would like to give some insights for the Dattashraya Garu, so I would be very happy. Whatever knowledge I have, I could be able to share it. But in case if you would like to say, please unmute yourselves and go ahead.
No, I'm really thankful to whatever you've shared, of course. And I
Yeah,
understand.
I'm not that experienced. Maybe whatever the experience I had, so I'm just sharing my thing. Maybe the other masters here, there are different masters who's taking the sessions. They would also give the insights and the knowledge.
Thank you.
Always sharing something, we get enlightened. We learn from the others. It's
Of
not that I
course,
have to go with
yes.
the experience. I always learn from the others how they are dealing with and how their perspective of life. Because yeah, it's really a beautiful journey. Yeah, masters, anyone would like to say anything? Please unmute yourselves. Would be very nice.
Yes, I'll be very grateful.
Yes. Yeah, Vindhyaji.
Hello,
I was
Madhavi.
expecting. Hi, Vindhyaji. I was
Hi.
expecting you would give me some,
Very nice.
you know.
I'm not giving it. I'm just acknowledging.
No,
Thank you so much.
please.
And I love the way you pick Ramana Maharshi's discussions, and same like Nisargadatta Maharaj too. And Dattaji, what a difficult question. Who am I is not an easy question, and that's what I think Ramana Maharshi. That self-inquiry I mean, if you read his that Who Am I, it seems like it's small and simple, but it is not. So every time we question ourselves, he says, question that same, who am I? The first time you might get an answer, I'm mom. Second time you question again, you may get, I'm a daughter. And then maybe I'm a wife. I'm all the roles we play may come first. And then you may say, I'm the body. And then you keep questioning. You may say, no, I'm the mind. And, the more and more we rule out and understand this self-inquiry process, it is for us to seek. And when we realize we are the energy or that universal energy within us, and that same energy flows through every plant, tree, people, and we can connect with it, I think I have a long way, but we are on that path. So
Yes.
it is
Thank you.
not that
Thank you very
easy.
much for sharing. Yes, I have similar way of doing it, and I try to do the same with myself. But I thought it would be nice if I hear somebody else's experiences as well.
And
Yes.
like Ramana Maharshi said, if bhakti is the mark, then do bhakti too. It doesn't matter if you can see. But slowly, I think God is within us, so it will there's no separation. So thank you, Madhavi. And the
Thank
music
you so
was
much.
wonderful.
Don't say
The
Madhvi garu,
drums.
just Madhavi. I'm happy to listen. And it's always better to share your experiences, because the other person will understand the way you explain, because the way I explain might not understand the other person. But the way you explain with your words and your perspective, sometimes the people understand very clearly. Yes, this is what I learned it. Yeah, when I read the books, I don't understand sometimes, but somebody else reads the book and tell the synopsis or the summary. Oh, I see that. Okay, this is understood. Because
And like Datta Garu said, why jealousy and all that? Exactly, Datta Garu. It is there because we are not understanding that, we are all the same. And we have this duality that we are different from others. And once that's not there, there won't be comparison and jealousy. But till then, we'll be going through this loops
Yes,
and cycles.
thank you very much.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much, Vindhya-ji. Yeah, thank you.
I'm only saying what I heard. I have to practice a lot.
Yeah,
So
but your
thank you.
experience also counts. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, we all are still learning.
Yes,
You're right.
absolutely.
Yeah, Mridula-ji, unmute yourself.
Hi, I was trying to find the buttons today. It's a very good topic, Madhavi. Lovely conversation. So for me, it is a very hard question to answer, the I part of who am I. But on reading and meditating, we come to know the I is our spiritual self. We create all these labels, as a human being. I am a mom, a daughter, and then the profession. All these are identities with our human body, but our consciousness has no identity. I mean, it has no that kind of identity. It's very it's beyond that. So there's no form in the consciousness. So there's no religion, there's no belief, there's no ideology, no gender, nothing. And our consciousness is just not unique to us. It's for all the beings, all the living conscious beings, including, the plants and the animals. We're all kind of connected that way. And why we have all these different things like jealousy and greed, we're born with this ego in this mind. Our mind is telling us, and our thoughts are telling us, which aren't real or accurate. So just as you mentioned, how do we go into knowing the self, the I, the self, the spiritual self? We go into meditation and be silent, and we come to know.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Ramana Maharishi is one of my favorite. I mean, so many of my favorites, but he's one of the favorites because he went into that deep stillness to tell us.
Yes.
And there's not many in the world that did that.
Yes.
So when he tells us, we come to know that as truth when we go into the stillness. Until then, we were just reading the words. So it's great to, we get to know his perspective and his perception, because he went into the stillness, unlike anybody else that I have read so far in my search. So just I'm going to state that too.
Yes.
Thank you, Madhavi, for
Thank you so
choosing.
much, Prithilaji. Thank you so much. Yes, meditation is the best tool to overcome and to understand our own journeys and to understand our own anger. Why are we anger? Actually, basically, we are the beautiful specks, if you see, because one master told me that I am always stuck with my bosses, actually, because I'm working and I have to listen to my boss. When I want to say something, I could not say that. I could not say boldly. But the master so nicely, she explained me saying that, Madhavi, see them in the soul level. Don't see them in a position levels, because I'm scared. Like I'm like kind of, okay, I listen because he's the boss and I have to listen and he's commanding me. But no, treat them as your soul level and then talk boldly and talk clearly about what you are expecting and what you wanted to say. No matter what, if you want to lose the job, just lose it. No worries. Then it made me so clear, the mind. And then I started looking at them because they're so big bosses. And I don't know how to, face them. So this is one of the best example or best experience what she shared with me, and I learned it. Yeah, so always see in the soul level, then we will not have that anger or, a guilt or anything as such, a comparison, because everyone is evolving in their own way and everyone has their own journey. And it's a beautiful journey. Everyone's is beautiful journey. Yeah, friends, anyone would like to say anything? I hope we cleared your doubt, Datta Garu.
Yes, my journey is on, and it is nice to know that, yes, everybody is having similar experiences, and the only way out is meditate yourself.
Yes.
And
And
yes,
there is another master also writing in the chat about this question. We just want to satisfy our five senses. Yeah, when we enjoy our mindfulness ego will be zero, it seems. So thank you so much, Master. Yeah, Gayatri, na? Yeah. So friends, anyone would like to share anything? If not, then I have two announcements. Like tomorrow morning, we have the same morning, 6 o'clock, Master Ranjini is going to take. And there is, for tomorrow evening, there is another master coming from UK, and her name is Madhurima, and she's taking on the secrets of dreams. What are these dreams and nightmares and everything? She's going to highlight on that. And these are the two sessions tomorrow going to conduct. And I thank you very much for everyone for participating and your sharing and your questions
secrets of
also.
dreams. Did you say secrets of dreams?
Yes, secrets of
And
dreams.
so that
Yeah,
is at
because when
5
we get,
o'clock.
yeah, that is the same timings. Germany PSSM group have 6 o'clock in the morning, one session, and the 6 o'clock PM, there is another session every day. So it's always, please welcome, but every day, every master will be different, and there will be a different topic, and it's a
Thank
lot
you.
of sharing, and we also are learning. It's not only your question, puts
Yeah.
others to understand and provide the perspective. Even today, I understood how this master have taught me. This question came up long ago for me. How can I talk to a person who's upper than me? I was like always scared, and that kind of you understand what I mean. So
Yes.
that they have cleared me so well, might be seen as so leveled, and it is quite easy to cope up. So
Thank you.
thank you so much, friends, and have a wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful evening. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Just stop the recording. Yes.